Hello dear viewers. Today, we dive into a touching and thrilling story about Lytuky, a young woman who was the only surviving daughter of a business family that was destroyed by dangerous criminal forces. Lytuky, together with CEO Henry, embarks on a journey to uncover the truth about her identity and biological family. While underground forces are relentlessly hunting to cover up past crimes, the appearance of Mrs. Thursday, Lytuky's adoptive mother, brings even more mystery. Mrs. Thursday admits she is Lytuky's adoptive mother and reveals a major conspiracy involving a powerful general, but fears that revealing the truth could put Lytuky in danger. Although Henry helps Lytuky find Mrs. Thursday, she avoids meeting them, leaving Lytuky deeply disappointed and heartbroken. However, with their persistence and determination, they continue searching, hoping to soon uncover the truth and bring peace to Lytuky and her loved ones. If you enjoyed this story and want to follow the next developments, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any exciting videos. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Beneath her quiet and gentle demeanor, Lytuky carried a truth that could shatter everything. To the world, she was just an ordinary girl, humble, reserved, and perhaps a little lost in life. But buried deep in her past was a secret powerful enough to shake the foundations of a criminal empire. Lytuky was the sole surviving daughter of a once prosperous business family, the owners of a successful company that had mysteriously vanished from public memory. What had once been dismissed as a tragic business collapse was, in truth, a calculated and ruthless massacre orchestrated by a hidden force, one that still lurked in the shadows, watching. Years ago, her parents had fallen victim to a conspiracy so dark that its details had never surfaced. The company they had built was taken from them not by misfortune, but by betrayal, bloodshed, and corruption. A powerful military figure, rumored to be involved at the highest levels of organized crime, had pulled the strings behind the scenes. Entire records were erased, witnesses silenced, and assets seized. Only one life had slipped through the cracks: Lytuky, a little girl too young to understand what had happened, quietly spirited away and hidden from the world. She grew up without knowing her true identity, unaware that the blood in her veins marked her as a target. Now, as fate would have it, the truth was beginning to surface. And with it came danger. Those responsible for her family's destruction had caught wind of whispers, rumors that the daughter they thought they had erased was still alive. For them, this posed an intolerable threat. If Lytuky discovered who she really was, if she exposed the truth behind the fall of her parents, everything they had built on lies and murder would come crumbling down. They could not let that happen. As a result, Lytuky found herself caught in a web of silent danger, where enemies hid in plain sight and allies were few. Without fully understanding why, her life began to shift. She noticed strange men watching her from afar, unfamiliar faces showing up in the quiet corners of her daily routine. Fear crept in, uninvited but persistent. Something was wrong, but what, she didn't yet know. In this time of uncertainty, a man named Henry stepped into her life like a quiet storm. On the surface, he was a successful CEO, commanding respect and attention wherever he went. But beneath his professional exterior was a man burdened by his own past and driven by an unyielding sense of justice. Henry had stumbled upon fragments of the truth enough to recognize that Lytuky was in grave danger, and that she was more than she believed herself to be. Without hesitation, he chose to stand by her, not out of pity, but because he saw in her the quiet strength of someone who had been wronged for too long. Together, they began a journey to uncover the truth, one that would lead them into the darkest corners of the criminal world. But for Lytuky, this wasn't just about justice, it was about reclaiming a life that had been stolen, a name that had been buried, and a family that had died without a voice. Little did she know, the closer she got to the truth, the more determined her enemies became to silence her once and for all. In a world where power thrived in secrecy and corruption held the upper hand, Lytuky's quiet courage became a spark. And Henry, her unexpected protector, would become the shield she never asked for, but so desperately needed. In the quest to reclaim her identity and uncover buried truths, Henry traced a familiar name, Mrs. Thursday, the woman who once cared for Lytuky as a child. No one truly knew the depth of their connection beyond scattered clues. Henry secretly investigated and found her current residence, a shabby boarding house tucked away in a desolate alley. Mrs. Thursday's life was now marked by hardship, a stark contrast to the nurturing figure who once quietly sheltered the daughter of a once prominent family. Determined, Henry decided to meet her first, hoping to confirm Lytuky's true identity and arrange an emotional reunion. When Henry confronted Mrs. Thursday, she was initially startled, but soon, burdened by years of silence, she confessed a painful truth. She was Lytuky's adoptive mother, the woman who had rescued the little girl from the deadly massacre years ago. Her voice trembled, eyes filled with haunting memories and regret. "I didn't dare face her," she whispered. "I feared she would be heartbroken learning the brutal fate of her biological parents, and I was just a stranger who couldn't protect her family." Mrs. Thursday recounted how, years ago, when Lytuky's parents' company was violently taken over, the entire family was ruthlessly targeted. The little girl, barely a toddler, had hidden trembling in a back room as their mansion burned to ashes. Mrs. Thursday, a family servant, risked everything to carry her away under the cover of night, disappearing from the city with a secret none could know. She raised Lytuky as her own, yet never revealed the truth, fearing the man behind the massacre, a powerful general rumored to hold immense sway over both politics and the criminal underworld. One wrong word, one leaked clue, would mean certain death. Yet Henry's determined gaze moved Mrs. Thursday. He insisted, "She deserves to know the truth. She's no longer a helpless child. If we don't stand up, she will forever live in deception and danger." Finally, Mrs. Thursday agreed. She consented to meet Lytuky again, but only in secrecy, away from prying eyes. She arranged for Henry and Lytuky to meet her the next morning at the boarding house, the place where past and present would collide. On the morning of the meeting, Lytuky prepared anxiously. A flood of emotions surged within her, hope, fear, anticipation. Henry picked her up early, driving silently through sunlit streets, their hearts pounding with anticipation. But when they arrived, Mrs. Thursday was gone. The boarding house stood deserted, its doors locked tight, leaving no sign of her presence. Henry called repeatedly but got no answer. A nearby neighbor whispered, "A stranger showed up last night." Mrs. Thursday left in the middle of the night. Lytuky was stunned. The hope of seeing her adoptive mother again dissolved, leaving a vast emptiness inside her. Tears fell freely, a mixture of disappointment and dread for Mrs. Thursday's safety. Henry held her close, gently reassuring her she must have had her reasons. Maybe she sensed danger closing in. "But I promise, no matter what, I'll find her again. You're not alone anymore." Beneath the pale sunlight, a silent vow was made, a small anchor amid the storm brewing just beyond the horizon. After discovering that Mrs. Thursday had disappeared from the meeting place, both Lytuky and Henry fell into a state of turmoil, overwhelmed by a flood of emotions. Lytuky felt not only disappointed but also deeply burdened by unanswered questions. Why did her adoptive mother leave without a word? Was she being threatened? Or was there something forcing her into hiding? Inside her heart, the desire to know the truth about her identity and her biological family grew stronger than ever. Henry saw the confusion and fear in Lytuky's eyes and knew she needed a solid emotional support. "Don't worry too much," he said gently. "We won't give up. I will do everything to find Mrs. Thursday again, no matter how difficult it gets." Henry was a determined man who refused to be defeated by obstacles, especially knowing how much loss this girl had already suffered. Immediately, Henry began coordinating with his team to expand the search. He gathered information from local residents around the boarding house, questioning every corner, every small alley, and every nearby restaurant. Every small clue was carefully recorded, gradually revealing a picture of Mrs. Thursday's current life. Through these accounts, Henry learned that she had left the boarding house a few days earlier, likely because she felt unsafe. At the same time, Lytuky did not sit still. She told herself to be stronger and refused to let the past overshadow her future. She often recalled vague childhood memories, and the adoptive mother who had silently raised her, now fueling a burning longing to meet her again. Deep in her heart, despite the pain, a faint hope remained that one day she would see Mrs. Thursday and hear all the untold stories. In the following days, Henry and Lytuky not only searched but also prepared for the next steps. They planned to contact people connected to Lytuky's old family, hoping to find evidence that would shed more light on the dark conspiracy and the person behind it all. Each time they faced potential dangers, their determination to reveal the truth grew stronger, not just for themselves, but for justice for Lytuky's family. Despite many obstacles and lurking dangers, Henry always stood by Lytuky, encouraging and protecting her. He became a steady pillar so she would not collapse amid the storm. "You're not alone," Henry often reminded her when she felt weary. "We will get through this together." Lytuky felt the warmth and safety from Henry's friendship and companionship, something she had never experienced before. Gradually, she learned to trust, to face the past, and to look toward the future. From great loss, she began to mature, understanding that no matter how challenging life is, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And although they could not find Mrs. Thursday yet, Henry's promise and Lytukai's faith became a guiding light on the difficult journey ahead. They knew that as long as they never gave up and kept moving forward, the truth would be revealed, and the wounds would slowly heal.